Yo, what's up guys? I haven't been making too many videos on the Etheria restart, however, I still been playing and grinding a lot. I'm level 51 right now, doing some of the endgame content all the time, and I do want to showcase why I didn't make that many videos, what I've been doing and how I've been doing it, because there's one very interesting fact, and you've probably already seen it in the title and thumbnail. I am currently on a rank 25 in the RTA, but I did that with a pretty substantial win rate. I am on a 96 win rate. I have 72 victories and only 3 defeats. I'm probably going to be pushing a little bit higher. There's about 4 hours left. The moment I finish this video is probably like 4 hours left or something like that. And now it's like 4:21. But how did I do this and how did I get there? So there were a few things to it. First of all, the main interesting thing that I did is I have all of my units on Bulwark. And legit, everything has 8 Bulwark in there. I have about 9 units that have 8 Bulwark, and that is also the main thing that I was aiming for the tournament. Except this one. This don't even know Bulwark. He's slow as hell, though. But yeah, I put everything on Bulwark, and people go into a fight, and they just simply see full immunity. They still tend to go for like their Marvels, their Krakens. They go for Lily Boost to do something. But I am full immunity, and with full immunity, I can simply survive that and then take my turns and then start doing a lot of damage. Even Heinrich, this was actually my original plan, get Bloodbath on everyone, because then if they do for a heavy cleave, I get really reduced damage on myself as well. So that was definitely a great way to just improve the account very good early on. The tournament video will be the video of tomorrow. So how does this actually work in a tournament setup where you also have a pre-ban? So that definitely limits your pool a lot more than it normally limits your pool like in just a normal RTA draft. But how did I get there? How did I get everything on Bulwark? Well, you probably have noticed it already. If you do want to get Bulwark, you have to farm Aurora. And where most people are focusing Termaton and Doki Doki, mainly Doki Doki, I didn't even do Doki Doki 4 though. I was already on day 6 in Aurora. And currently I have a little bit better gear, but I did record a run of how I did it back then. So I can showcase that run and then just talk over the strategy, how I was able to do Aurora 3 on day 6. So this is a pre-recorded version of me doing this team. It was slow as hell, it was 5 minutes. I was level 43 at this time. I did pull a Linglo the day before we get Linglo for free, so therefore I was able to do it at day 6. Otherwise, you're probably able to do it at day 7. I do have the Heinrich, and I think he was very needed for that as well. So let me talk you through a run. It was not fully on auto, but I also didn't have to full manual it. There was one trick to it that actually made it work, and that was just really min-maxing of what you can do with this game. And that was pretty fun because you do need your strip to go in front of your Marvel. That is the main thing, because you get the immunity over here. As long as the immunity is there, your Marvel is not pushing it back, your Marvel is not slowing it, and you're just taking a lot of damage. Also in this in this boss, you do have to get rid of these buffs, otherwise you're just not dealing as much damage, and therefore you have to do healing. So therefore we have the Sanya and we do have the Linglo. I do think you need 2 healers for there. The Tiamat is probably kind of replaceable, but it was somewhat of a damage dealer as well. So with that, what did I do? That was the only thing I did. So just to go back. So we go into the fight. I put it on a manual right now. I tap 1 time on the boss. I don't want to tap it on the side characters. And then I let it auto, and then the run succeeded. I had to do like 1 manual at a time, and you might be like, yeah, yo, you fucking tryhard. Brother, I'm free to play. I'm on a 96 win rate. What do you expect? You have to try it somewhere. But that's the thing. Like, I did this all full free to play. I did get a lucky amount with the good pulls and stuff like that. But why did I have to do a Marvel skill 1 on the boss? If I did it on any of the 2 side things, Marvel would be maybe stealing attack bar and therefore moving twice before the Heinrich. In this case, if I just do the skill 1 on the boss, it will be a perfect rotation that at some point Heinrich moves and right after Marvel moves, because Marvel is currently sitting at like a 140, 150 kind of speed, and the Heinrich is sitting at like about a 70-ish kind of speed extra. And that was the main thing that I was doing all the time. And sure, you might get into a rotation where I don't have any buff block and the boss still takes a turn. The Heinrich can take that out later, but the rotation becomes really good where every time that there is a potential skill 3 from the Marvel, which is really strong. Most of the time, the boss doesn't have any of immunity. And that was just the main thing that I was been doing. And I actually did that day 6, day 7, day 8. Then I went into back and forth in shells, that kind of stuff. Then we had the double drops at some point, so you went a little bit back and forth. But I actually did this a lot. And just to speed up the run, well, as you can see already, it's like a super slow run and nothing is happening too much to the attack bar. But it's all about like pushing back the attack bar at the right moment or getting as many chances in for pushbacks. Sure, Heinrich is not always stripping it that great because he didn't have a full activation on his strip because he just doesn't get that in the first place. But he doesn't have the skill ups in the skill 1 where the activation on the strip are at in the first place. So didn't have all of those going on. But that only rotation was needed. I could do it on auto, but then my chance of failing was like 4 times as high as doing that one rotation where I just had to tap on it once, and that just let it run, which was incredibly good. Can you do this without a Heinrich? If you find any kind of other stripper that consistently stripped throughout multiple turns, maybe so. Without that, might be a little bit more difficult, but that was my strategy to just get a lot of bulwark. And then we have a victory run right there, and then just go into the next one. I once again tap off the auto, attack one myself, and then press the auto button, and hence repeat. That was just simple fact the thing that I was doing all the time. And I'm used to grinding in many other games. I didn't mind to do this. Plus, it was every 5 minutes. It was not that bad. So that's how I got most of my gear. Also for shells, I went pretty hard. I right away got this one. Not really the biggest fan of this one. I would say any of the other damage shells probably does do a little bit better. This one, however, Codex of Magic is incredibly strong. This is definitely the endgame one that you want to get on a lot of characters. Because if you use a skill 3, you can already use the skill 3 in a second rotation as well. And it is super strong on units like Hellkit for going the double shield barrier or anything like that. And that definitely did help out a lot. And that is where I was able to push a lot of ranks in a lot of leaderboards. Like in the end, I'm still sitting at this one. Where am I sitting at right now? Number 12. I actually autoed most of these stages because at some point you just get super tanky with a Sanya and you get there with a Linglo and you just kind of get there. For Arena, I'm sitting at a rank 10 right now, and I'll showcase you my defense rate in just a second because that's insane. And actually, the first few days, I think the first week, I didn't refresh in Arena at all, and I'm still on a pretty high rank. Also, the moment that I switched everything to Bulwark, that is where it got really strong. Like, the thing is, your team is as strong as its weakest link. And if there's one unit off Bulwark, that unit is targeted and immediately dies. But if all of your units are Bulwark, all of your units have immunity, it just simply is not possible. And that's what we can see, for example, in my defense logs as well. I have a defense log of an 86.4% win rate. That is my defense. That is absolutely nuts. Most of these losses actually came before I had my Bulwark team, because at some point, you really drop in progression to get the whole team to Bulwark, and then it's like, okay, does it actually work out or does it not work out? Because I never tried this strategy. This is the first time for me actually playing a proper beta as well. But looking at a team like this, normally this would probably boost, this would start stunning me, and then he does do a lot of damage. So let's actually look at how a team like that would be working against me right now, where my whole team is just simply is Bulwark, immunity. So the Lily can take a turn. I don't care about your Lily. I can tank this hit. I don't care about that. Lily takes a turn, still goes for skills. Doesn't really matter. I was just trying to do chip damage. Plus, I also have a Gigabyte on Linglo, which is sometimes a little bit awkward. In here, it's really good because it goes between the two nukers, and that's mostly why she takes a turn. Between the two nukers, and therefore, they simply cannot kill. But sometimes it's also more chill if she goes all the way at the end. Let's look at this. Like, people go in with a Marvel, and Marvel, normally they like, okay, I start pushing back, the enemy doesn't take any turns, I'm good to go. Let's see what happens. We go for the boost. Yep, okay, he tries to do a lot of damage in there. My team is still moving pretty fast. That's where I start cutting again. He takes a turn, does a decent amount of damage. My Linglo cuts again, goes with the Gigabyte, heals up a bunch. Rosa, good luck doing your thing, but you already lost. And that is the main thing. Normally, if I would be speed pushed down, my units wouldn't take turns. They couldn't go for the healing. I would be screwed. But in this case, my whole team is able to start moving at this point. We have a transformation. We have insane healings coming in. He's just like, yeah, never mind. I'm gonna lose. Is this easy to pull off, though? No, it's absolutely not easy to pull off because you lose a lot of stats to not get anything else in. Like, I tried on the Messiah really hard to get this one in and that one in. That kind of worked out. On the Heinrich, I also got 2 good sets, and it did really work out for the stats. Over here with the Cure, it was kind of okay. In here, it kind of got weird already because the shell that I wanted to put on her didn't have Bulwark. This one doesn't have the availability of Bulwark, but I still want to go Bramble. But I couldn't find anything that had both Bramble and Bulwark, so it got a little bit weird already. This one was kind of the same style. Yeah, this one was the same issue. This had a Bramble, but didn't have a Bulwark, so I went from Unbreakable next to it, which in the end actually did kind of work out. It would be nicer if there was like Bramble on the 8 and Unbreakable on the 4, but then again, it's still pretty decent. This one also, once again, got pretty weird because Gigabyte also... I don't think that Gigabyte has the opportunity to go for a Bulwark, so it got a little bit weird. Then we had this one, which... I got 1 Swift Rush in, and I actually needed 2 to get it good up. But then you get down the line of like, okay, now your units get pretty awkward of like, okay, can we still get good enough stats on them? And I didn't really get that. And for the tournament, I did notice that was having a little bit of issues as well. But that's going to be the video of tomorrow. I do want to push a little bit higher to check like how far I can get in the arena. I can also show you like how most of my RTA matches are looking like at the moment. Wait, not Union. Just to showcase, or just to give an idea of like what kind of drafts do I walk into. And for the battle reports, wait, does it? Yeah, sometimes this battle report thingy does bug out where it doesn't show like the proper ranking, but at least I was able to show the ranking just earlier. Currently sitting, as mentioned, at rank 24. Still a lot of points from like rank 1. These guys have been playing a lot. Also, let me know in the comments, what do you guys think about being unlimitedly able to keep playing? So a lot of the drafts I see is something... Wait, let me see like the most typical draft that I walk into. Yeah, this is, for example, one of the more typical drafts I walk into. They go for 3 boosters and then 2 damage dealers. I ban out one of the damage dealers and they have a very bad day. It's as simple as that. So my draft mostly consists of... Oh, I'm actually checking it from his point of view. But I mostly go for Heinrich and Tiamat, and then for double healers, and then whatever damage dealer next to it. So he's trying to do all kinds of damage. And then... this is the point where the Gigabyte is a little bit awkward because I would preferably have her move all the way at the end right now in RTA, whereas in Arena I like her to move in front. Would be nice if maybe some of the gear is split in that kind of sense where you could do something different, but I would say for RTA it fits better to have some other gear on her. But then again, I start taking a turn and I simply clear out 1 unit. I think that this was actually a match where he still tried to win with like a... Lily and a Marvel and just trying to get an insane amount of turns in, so this definitely goes down the line for a bit. But as you can see from here, his point of view of winning is going to be super hard already. But this is also where you can see that Linglo on not a Gigabyte, moving all the way at the end, would have protected everyone with immunity for another turn and would have been a little bit better. And that's why I like the Heinrich a lot, because it has multiple hits because of that Gigabyte in the first place, which does help out. Let's check out another match that's also a good explanation of what kind of things. Yeah, I think that this one is also... this one actually went super weird in the draft. I think this guy immediately left like the moment he went in because he saw us like, yeah, full immunity, never mind, I'm not gonna win. I'm pretty sure he went in and he did 1 skill and then he left. Was it this one? Yeah. Like, it's like, wait, that didn't work, never mind. So yeah, that's the strength of Bulwark. That is exactly right there what the strength of Bulwark is. And you can check, like, if I load this all in every time that it loads new, it scrolls all the way back up. You can actually see the win rate over here. Like, we have 1 or 2 losses over here. Main thing that I was losing to is people that at some point I was fighting more often. Because the more often I fight people, the more difficult it got because people started stealing your units. And that's definitely what you notice in a smaller pool. That the moment you have... less units, then it's getting harder, especially Tiamat without any other healers on the side is pretty bad. I should have actually had like a 3rd healer. I do have Mia. Maybe I should have built Mia, because Mia in the 5th slot over here would have definitely been better. So that was a lose over there. I also had a lose against this one, which is also a repeat match. And also, once again, I didn't know he had a Heinrich, and he started stealing the Heinrich. And actually, this thing did an insane amount of damage. So this looks like something that is somewhat winnable, but this unit just did an insane amount of damage. Like, some people have so much damage on either a Grey or that. So this was also where I played this person earlier. And most of my, I think this was also a repeat battle. How did I lose this one? I think I just simply have to... Yeah, he also stole my Heinrich. So that's the thing. Like, if you are really hard focused on like 1 or 2 units, the moment they start stealing that, that is where it goes really bad. And that's also why I waited for the tournament to actually make this video, to not showcase like, yo, these are my strategies. And therefore, I also had the best amount of chance of climbing, well, in the normal arena, but also in the Summit Arena, the RTA. And I'm still going to be trying to rank a little bit higher than the 24. I'm not sure if I'm really going to push like super hard. But looking at the win rate once again, well, it's not showing because whatever reason, but 96% win rate. That is absolutely insane. And keep in mind, I am free to play. I didn't spend anything on this. And that does also showcase like how much you can do as a free to play player. I'm pretty sure, wait, if we go back all the way to the starting area, yeah, first buy. I didn't get my first buy, so full free to play right there for you. I would say that this game is super free to play friendly in the first like 12, 14 days, because you get a lot of achievements in, and because you get a lot of achievements, you get a lot of resources to work with. No one has ever been playing this game longer than a beta was. So no one has played this game. I think the longest beta was like 3 weeks or 4 weeks. No one has played this game further than those 3 or 4 weeks. So we have no clue how free to play this game is after that time. But for the first few weeks to catch up or just be on with the same track as other people that are heavy spending, I think it's definitely there. But at some point, you're going to notice that you're going to be running out of crystals for refreshes, because I've been doing the stability refreshes every day, all the time. I didn't do the arena refreshes, which could have netted me more resources as well, because from arena, you can get a lot of training data, and you can get a lot of Etheria coin, which definitely is something that you're definitely running out later on, which I'm going to be a lot more careful with on the real release of using that. I'm going to use the minimum amount until I get to the end game, and that's where I start using them. That's going to be kind of game plan for that. But yeah, it's going to be the big question. How free-to-play friendly is it after a month of playing, 2 months, 3 months, half year down the line, year down the line? That's going to be the big question, because right now you're super hard carried by all of the hyperlink charters. But what happens when you lose the hyperlink charters because you already did all of them? Because at some point you're going to be at that point, right? Is there going to be something else? Are there going to be more events? Are there going to be something else? Because right now you don't need a crazy amount of events to give you resources, because you have these to do resources. But they could be replaced at a later point by, it's like, yo, we give you good events to get you crystals or other things. Here, there's a few events here and there right now, but it is not as crazy as you would say. It's like, okay, from the hyperlink charter, you still get way more stuff in the first place. Like, this is the current event that you get. Like, you get a little bit of stuff over here, especially the perfect Lattice is really nice right there. But most of the stuff you're getting is just like, oh, a little bit of crystals here, a little bit of crystals there. Whereas in the hyperlink charter, you just get like, oh, you cleared this, let me give you 100 over here, 250k over there, you get another 50 over there, another 50 there, another 50 there, another 20 there. It's like, and that's just one of them. It just keeps going on and on and on. So that's definitely an interesting one. Also, this is getting closer to the end of the beta. I'm going to be making probably 3-4 more videos during this beta. And then I'm going to be making more videos of more of like, okay, what do I recommend to focus on? Which server do I recommend? Maybe a tier list. People always really love the tier list. They're probably going to be doing some balancing in between. I wouldn't be surprised if they add a few new units, because in the end, from current beta to the previous beta, they added in me, Bornir, Mia, they added in, I think 1 or 2 more. Rilmocha is new, and also Marvel is new, which is pretty much for a lot of people very unmissable right now, which is also maybe on the chopping block for a little bit of a nerf, who knows. But those are definitely all new. Also, Ho Yun was taken out because there was something wrong with the kit, or I don't know what exactly. But she was taken out, and she will be coming back. And no, that's not Shadow Ho Yun, the boss. There's actually a character called Ho Yun, which in my opinion is the most badass character in-game. Not the strongest, but definitely the most badass. So I will be doing a tier list. And of course, it's going to be the big question on everyone's mind. Are we picking Tiamat on the selection banner, or are we doing something else? Are we going to do re-rolling? How are we going to do re-rolling? So a lot of content still to be made on this channel. And there is one reason, and one reason only, to see all of that. And that is because you subscribing. Otherwise, you cannot find these videos. But you can through the YouTube algorithm. But you have to subscribe. Either how, guys. Hope you enjoyed this beta as much as I did. I hope you enjoyed these kind of videos, and I'm definitely going to be making a lot more videos during the real release. So definitely help me out on this channel. Subscribe to the channel, like this video. There's going to be like 3-4 more videos in the next coming days. And see you as always in the next one, which are hopefully those. See you there. Thanks for watching. If you would like to see more guides, join the Discord and check out the content tab for the guide video archive, which contains all of the guides that you might need. Hope to see you there.